Welcome to Positive Outcomes, where leaders turn hard-won experience into income, impact, and freedom.
Hello, everyone. You are welcome to Positive Outcomes. This is a place where professionals, leaders, experts, entrepreneurs, name it, they come here. We use their expertise to generate income, impact, and freedom. And of course, I'm your host, Dr. Doreen. It's not about me. Okay. Today's guest, Oguzhan, is an academic entrepreneur and an innovator. He is currently the director at the Institute of Business Innovation at UC Berkeley, HAAS School of Business, where he works with companies in Silicon Valley, where I want to live when I grow up. He works with companies in Silicon Valley and beyond to foster innovation and entrepreneurship. Oguzhan is also a venture partner and investor at several leading firms, including Startup Fund 2012.VC, Bridgejex Ventures, and Ventures. Wow, those names, I'm sure I'm killing it, but you help me later. Alongside these guys, remember, come with an open mind, come to learn and come to grow, because we have Oguzhan here and we want to make sure that we learn and we grow. Alongside, he is a TV host, a producer on CNBC-E, bringing the stories of entrepreneurs, change makers, and innovators to audiences each week. And that is the whole purpose of Positive Outcome, letting people know that despite your circumstance, you can make it. So we have the perfect guest tonight. It's not done. Previously, he taught at NYU Stern, served as a faculty innovation fellow at Stanford, and launched the Bridge Center for Entrepreneurship at Bogazici University in Istanbul. I'm killing the names, but Oguzhan is an innovator, so he will innovate us to say it right. Listen to this. With 3 startups under his belt and corporate roots at Procter & Gamble, Oguzhan defined his role as vision, inspiration, and connection. Vision, inspiration, and connect. That is extremely, extremely deep. Oguzhan, you are welcome to Positive Outcomes.
Wow. Thank you, Doreen, for inviting me and for this beautiful introduction. And I love the name, by the way, Positive Outcomes. So, I believe that whatever we do, whatever comes to you, we can always have a positive outcome out of that. We
Exactly.
never know. So I like it.
No, thank you. And we are actually extremely happy to have you here. You have a great experience, and I'm sure the viewers are going to learn a lot from you tonight. So I'm ready to get rolling. You have a lot under your belt. Can you just tell us what wakes you up every day and inspires you to keep doing?
Actually, every day I'm thinking that, okay, what is new is going to happen today? Every day I'm curious. Every day I'm wondering, because every day is a different version. It's not the same. Every day, I leave room in my agenda for some serendipity. Every day I leave room for some meeting some new people, doing new stuff. So I think that's what's most exciting, because when you have your agenda filled with everything, you know your life already planned ahead, and there is no surprise, and it's not exciting to me.
Oh, wow. Yes.
And to me, I like to leave some room so that there is some serendipity. So I think that's the most exciting thing. So when I meet a new person, when I meet a new project, when I read something that is new, when I learn something new, that's most exciting to me. And every day when I go home, I think about that new person, new thing that I learned. I think that's the most important thing.
That is absolutely amazing. Yes. So you wake up with an open mind. You're not very rigid, right? You started your career at PG, Procter & Gamble, before moving into startups and academia.
Yes.
What originally drew you into the world of business innovation?
Actually, it happened while I was working at P&G. Before, even when I was a child, I have always I always felt that I will be an inventor. I'm into technology. And then that's why I studied engineering in my undergrad. But I realized, I mean, being in the innovation world is the thing that defines me. And I realized it during my MBA when I read a book about it, because you just feel it, but you cannot define it. But when you study it, you are able to say, okay, yeah, that's the exact feeling that I have. That's exactly what I'm doing. And innovation is the exact word about what I'm feeling about the world. And when I was working at P&G, actually, this is what happened. I mean, at first, right as a fresh graduate, when I started work, I was feeling like lost in the job, because it's just like, okay, this is the job you need to do. You follow it. And then I say, okay, is this it? I mean, are you not asking from me some creativity, some new stuff which is authentic to me or which is unique to me? No,
Mhm.
I mean, it's just like we are building this system. So when people make mistakes, the system will be ready to work. But then why do you need me? Okay, so that was my question. So I was like, okay, anybody can do this job. Why do you specifically need me? So because I had always this urge to feel that, I mean, I need to provide some specific value which is unique to me, not for anyone else. So I
Mm.
feel as a special person myself. So I need to provide this special service to what
Wow.
is available out there. So, I mean, at the first few months of the job, I was so unhappy as a fresh graduate. And then one night I realized, oh my God, why am I torturing myself? If the job doesn't fit me, then I need to find a way to fit the job to myself. And I questioned about how to bring innovation to the world. I started working on innovation. And while doing that, I didn't ask for permission. I just started it. There's a good saying: don't ask permission, ask forgiveness if you are into innovation.
Don't ask permission, ask forgiveness, guys. I
Yes.
absolutely love that. Wow.
Oh, because I mean, I mean, so think about it. So you would like to do something, and people you are going to ask, I mean, don't know about it, or maybe they have the authority. But if there is something new, when you ask the people, the default answer is no. So you know that the answer is no. So you don't have to ask. You just do it. If it is successful, then it means you are taking a risk. If it is successful, you will be rewarded. If it's not successful, then what is the worst that can happen? Okay, the worst, they can fire me. And I said, okay, I'm okay with that. I mean, because I'm not happy. What is the worst that can happen? They can fire me. Okay. So if you are okay with the worst outcome, then anything is possible.
Wow.
Actually, later when I studied innovation entrepreneurship, I realized there is a definition for that in the literature, and that is called affordable loss. Affordable loss. So if you define what you can afford to lose, then you can take that much amount of risk and the upside is infinite. Okay, that's the way of thinking.
Wow.
And that's how I started working in innovation. I didn't ask for permission. I just started working on it, giving training, internal trainings in the company, doing innovation projects, and it worked out really well. And so it worked
That
out
is
so well. And they told me that, okay, now we want you to move over this job. I said, no, I don't want to do this job. And at that time, it's just like I wanted to build more on innovation. So later, that's why I left the corporate world and joined into startup world and then academia later.
It is so amazing. You have touched on something that I think so many people need to hear tonight. What is unique to you? What is unique to you? What is unique to your purpose, your calling, your why, your being here? And if you can work alongside your uniqueness, I think it brings happiness. And taking the risk of doing something good for a company will hardly make you really lose your job. I will hire someone like that. That will surprise me with innovation. That will surprise me with thinking out of the box to get me to my goal. Right. So what he's doing here is something that I know we talk to so many professionals that this is the first time we have heard this, that I want to do what is unique to me. I know it's your company, but I'm in your company, but what I'm working in your company has to be unique to me. That is just amazing.
That's true.
Amazing. I was explaining it passionately until I started coughing. Now, looking back at your early days, right? What lesson did you take from launching your own ventures and that shape how you now mentor and advise others? What lessons did you learn?
Most people will tell that you need to get out of your comfort zone. So I believe that that's really important and powerful. That's necessary. getting out of the comfort zone is necessary. But I believe that it's missing. I believe that in order to be successful in the world, entrepreneurship, actually having this entrepreneurial mindset is crucial. It's essential. That's why I later joined into academia and I teach about entrepreneurial mindset. It doesn't mean that you have to start your own company. It's a mindset you can employ anywhere, everywhere, anytime. Okay, so you can be an entrepreneur anytime, anywhere you want. Even if you are an employee, you can be an entrepreneur. So in order to do that consistently and through long term, you need to get out of your comfort zone. And in addition to that, you need to keep your inner peace. I call it peaceful discomfort. Okay. So you need to hold on to your peace, and you need to design this going out of comfort zone in a way which you can afford to lose. So I'll connect to what I earlier said. So I think this is the way that you are willing to take risks. Otherwise, people imagine taking risks as either, if we think of it as 0 to 100, many people will think about risk taking as, okay, if I'm taking a risk, it's all in or nothing. No, it's not like that. It's gambling. Gambling and risk taking are different than each other. And since then, I have talked to many entrepreneurs, thousands of entrepreneurs, and I have researched about it later, and I've experienced it. And none of the entrepreneurs, none of them tell that, oh my God, I love taking risks. Bring me all the risks, so I will be ready to step on them. I will chew them.
No.
Nobody wants risk. Nobody loves risks. Every great entrepreneur, they are willing to take risks, but from the start, they are working to reduce the risk, to minimize the risk. So you start with a risk that you are willing to take, keeping your peace, which is enough to get out of your comfort zone. But on the way, you work to remove this risk. So that's the path towards. I think that's the most important thing. And so I believe, okay, I know that that's an abstract
different thinking.
So I will give a real life example out of that.
Yes.
So when people work at a 9-to-5 job, so many people have ideas about starting their own company, but many people think that in order to start a 9-to-5 company, they need to quit their job. So it means you are all in. It means that you take all the risks. I think that's a very stressful discomfort. That's a stressful discomfort. Okay, because you are taking so much risk at one time. What I suggest is, if you have an idea, work towards the idea while you work at your day job. So while you keep your check, while you have the resources, work on your idea, iterate, build prototype, build allies, attract co-founders, attract people who can help you while you are working on your existing job. Okay, so this is a peaceful discomfort. Okay, this is an example. And when you come to a point that you start making money and you know that it's going to work, but you cannot do both things at the same time, then it means that it's the right time to jump from your job to the venture that we are building.
But the question is, you're making a really good point. I'm going to get back to entrepreneur mindset in a minute because I want us to talk more about the entrepreneur mindset. But now, coming to this show, I have a lot of people that have been here and they are wanting to be coaches. They are wanting to be consultants. But with corporate America right now, they will say it's a conflict of interest. If they find out, they'll say you don't have more time for my job. The system is making it a little bit harder and harder for you to go out and do your own thing. And because everything is on social media and everything is on the internet, I personally have experienced it before I started my consulting company. When they found out that I was a consultant, because I started like you, I had to stop the company for a while and focus on my job because they said, oh, I see that you're a consultant. You don't have time for my job. Are you sure? And if I was highly performing, I was highly productive, no issue, no call I was doing. I was an executive level at that point. What will you say in a situation like that? Because I'm hearing a lot of people, oh, I want to open my business. I'm like, yeah, you can. You have to do both for some time. But with the pressure of corporate America, how can we navigate a situation like that?
Yeah, you are right. It's not easy. But there are always ways to do that. I mean, at least there are ways to, because a business, especially a new venture, is all about learning at the early stages. Whoever learns fast
Mm-hmm.
is actually on the right track.
Right.
I mean, it's all about designing experiments. Think of it as a project, as an experiment, as a way to learn. For example, let's say you are starting a new thing and you need to learn about it. Who is going to say anything about when you talk to a person and invite him or her for lunch to learn more about the business? You can do that, or you can read.
Pretty much the way you do it, the approach of doing it.
Yes, you can join conferences.
Yep.
Can do. I mean, let me tell you a story of an innovator and a company, corporate innovator. Okay, there was a guy in one of my executive education courses. So he was a construction engineer, and in his company, it was a telecom company, and they are building centrals for connection, and they are building all the buildings in concrete. And once he asked the question, okay, why are we building these buildings in concrete? Because they cost us like $3 million extra. And he asked, instead of concrete, why don't we build in steel? If we build it in steel, it will be less than $1 million. So there will be like 5 times cost saving. And his boss was like, forget about it. I mean, we always do the things that way. Why are we doing this new thing? You know what he did? He didn't listen to this advice. So he researched about it. He wrote a paper about it. He connected professors from Stanford, from MIT. He talked to them. He sent his idea to a conference. He went there. He presented it. And later with this data, he went to his boss and said, hey, you told me that we cannot do that, but here's what I have done.
Wow.
I researched it. And you know what? He does it. He goes to the conference by taking his vacation time. Okay, so he's also sacrificing from his personal time. But at the end, his boss is impressed. Oh my God, did you do it on your own? Did you do it on your own vacation time? So it means, I mean, he is doing it the right way. And then they start building those centrals, this building in steel, and making a lot of money out of that.
Right.
And now with this experience, he gets into other businesses, he gets promoted, and now he has this exposure to other researchers doing for something else.
That is amazing. You have mentioned a couple of things that I personally think is really important. You talked about the fact that the boss is aware. Some of us, we are not very transparent with our bosses, knowing our uniqueness. Like you said it very well from the beginning. This is my uniqueness. This is what I like to do. And if your boss is saying, oh, you cannot do this, if you really want to be the entrepreneur mindset during your vacation time,
Yes.
take a conference, read a book, do a research. That is part of growing your business. Yes. When you're still in there and being transparent with your boss. I think that is something that everybody needed to hear because they're waiting for perfection and stuff like that. Now, you said about entrepreneur mindset. Just reiterate on that a little bit, because when people hear that word, like you said in the beginning, they assume I have to have a company, I have to have employees, I have to have an LLC registered, I have to have this, I have to have that. Can you just break that down maybe a little bit as to what that entails?
Okay. I mean, as a mindset, you don't have to do that. I mean, you don't have to start the company in order to call yourself as an entrepreneur. I call myself as an academic entrepreneur, as you introduced me in the beginning, because I mean, I realized that at one point, being entrepreneur means actually being unapologetic. It's being free. It's just like, I mean, you are you, and then you just feel like, okay, you can do anything. Anything is possible. So having this growth mindset. So growth mindset versus fixed mindset. So Carol Dweck's study, just to refer to that. So having this entrepreneur mindset is just with this growth mindset, you are ready and you are willing to fail, to make mistakes, and you are willing to learn from those, because that's the only way for learning. Think about it. I mean, think about the way you learn how to ride a bike. It's impossible. There is no one in the world learning to ride a bike without falling down. It's impossible. Okay. So you don't learn it at first. So it takes a lot of failure. So failure is the path to success in that sense. And
so I can tell from what you're saying is that your entrepreneurial, the drive of being an entrepreneur seems to be what kind of guided you to transition into teaching and investing, because you were transitioning. So you have taught at NYU, Stanford, and now leading innovation initiative at UC Berkeley.
Yes.
And what really excites you the most about working at the intersection of academia and industry?
Okay, so I feel that academia is really energizing with all the resources with the students, professors, researchers, all the centers. It's really dynamic. So as I said in the beginning, you never know. Who will show up? You never know what kind of new project are you going to work with, especially when you are in innovation. And there are a lot of companies who would like to work on innovation, who would like to innovate, and universities are the major path to work on innovation. And actually, UC Berkeley has has great resources on that, and that's what I work on daily with the corporate partnerships. We do sponsored research. We actually complement company resources with the university resources. We bring also other companies together, and also we have incredible students and incredible faculty to work on that. And that's actually how world-changing innovation come from.
That's amazing. So from your earlier days and looking back at that, what are some of the lessons that you can share with the audience that it took you from launching your own ventures to shaping how you mentor and advise others right now? What are some of the lessons learned?
Lessons learned, okay,
in your process of, in the early days, in your process of transitioning from working for PG Gamble, startup, academia, and innovation, in the process, in your journey, right? What are some of the lessons that you have learned that you can share with the viewers tonight?
So I think it must be the last point that we need to talk because I need to leave the meeting room.
Okay.
Now, or I need to find another place. So how should we do that?
If you find another place, it's okay. We can pause and then you can go to another place and we can continue.
Let's do that. Then let's do that.
Okay. All right. I'll just pause. I'll take the video off, and then when you're ready, you can come back, and then we can just continue from there.
Okay. That's okay. We'll find another place. Hello. Yeah. I'm sorry. I was doing a podcast interview, and I had a problem with my AirPods. So at the last minute, I came here.
No worries. Okay. Yeah, sorry about that.
Okay. Okay, I found another room.
Okay. All right. That's fine. It happens. So we're going to cut that part out during the recording, okay?
Okay.
Technical people, they're very smart. They know how to do stuff. So don't worry about that. But this is a really good conversation that I really think that our audiences will definitely benefit from. So we're talking about some of the lessons you have learned in your journey transitioning from PG Gamble and going into academia and now business innovation. What are some of the lessons learned there?
Okay, so changing careers in that sense. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Corporate, startup, academia, and investment and other things. Actually, for myself, every time I find it as challenging, and I like challenges. And at that time, this is how I came up with the value, vision, inspiration, connection, because I realized that that's how I operate. That's my unique value, connecting different people, different things. So when I work on only one subject, so it's not fruitful for me. So I like to work on several subjects
at the same time.
Yeah, because that feeds me and that also gives me another perspective every time. So I can connect things in different ways and I can apply what I learn in one domain to another domain. And also even academia. I've been in several institutions, not in one. And it's also good to see. This also provides me a unique perspective to contrast and compare and work towards that. So, that's also a framework that I have in my mind. First, it starts with exposure. So in order to dream about something, in order to have a vision about something, first, you need to have exposure.
Okay.
So that's what I do. So when you go to different domains and different places, you have lots of exposure. Okay. That's one thing. And exposure leads to inspiration. And then when you find inspiring things or when you find things that you haven't thought about, or when you find out things which are done in ways that you are not even thinking about, you say, oh my God, I have never thought about it. So this is, I find inspiring. And these kind of things, I take it and also apply it into online thinking. Second, inspiration. And third is exploration. So we talked about corporate America. Corporate America is all about execution. But there is a difference between execution and exploration. Execution is all about following the path, following the plan. But exploration is about following the dream, following the vision, following the inspiration.
Wow.
So it's again related to the uncertainty piece, related to this serendipity, and related to this failure and experimentation, because exploration is all about, again, experimentation. So it's not about perfection. So perfection is enemy of innovation.
Wow. Amazing. That's a deep. So exploration is more about the vision, the dream.
Yes, it's connected to vision. So how you go towards the vision. So, okay, let me give an example to that. For example, I would like to go from, let's say, one city to another, from San Francisco to Silicon Valley. So what are the methods? So I look at Google Maps. It shows me the route. I can take several routes if I go by car. I can take a taxi, Uber, Lyft, Waymo. I can take a train ride. I can walk. I can ride. So there are different mediums of transportation. So my job is to choose amongst them. Okay. So I choose mode of transportation and I optimize according to my aim. So this is what corporate America is doing. The jobs are all about optimization. Okay. Execution is all about optimization, all about what is the best way, what is the optimum way to reach my goal. However, in the exploration, there is not a Google Maps for exploration. Okay. I cannot search for what I would like to reach and it doesn't show me a route. Exploration, I just start with this vision, with the imagination in my head. I know that it can exist. At least it exists in my head. Now I need to figure out a way to make this vision a reality in real.
Yep.
So I don't know if it's a place. I don't know if it's somebody. I don't know if it already exists. So there is too much unknown, too much uncertainty, but I know that it exists, at least in my head. So exploration is all about finding a way to reach to that destination.
Right.
So since there is no path and I don't know the way how to reach it, I need to make a lot of experimentation. So that's what I mean by that.
Yes, that makes a lot of sense.
And the final stage is expression. So expression is actually out of all your experiments, out of all this process, exposure, inspiration, expression, then now you know the path. Now you show it to the world. You express it. You express yourself. Okay.
Wow. So those of us that are coming to positive outcomes and we are looking into innovation, entrepreneurship, it starts with your mind. And this framework, exposure, inspiration, exploration, and expression. Did I say that right? This is a good framework because you can start from point A to the place where you're expressing your ideas. So I want us to take the note down and practicalize this, practicalize what he's saying and see how that's going to change the way we do things. Because again, we are doing it for us, for our uniqueness, right? For us before the company. So once you start shifting your thinking and do it that way, I think you will have positive outcomes. That is super amazing. That is just super amazing. That's why we love coming to positive outcomes, because we meet other people and we learn different things every single day. What would be your approach with your mindset and with your diversity of thinking? We just talked about the roads going from point A to point B and how you have the decisions that you make, how to go from here to here. How do you approach helping founders and companies foster innovation in such a very competitive environment? For example, like in Silicon Valley, right? With a lot going on, what would be your approach to founders and people listening here that they want to start something apart from your framework? The world is becoming extremely competitive. What would be your approach if you have to mentor or coach someone like that?
It wouldn't be so much different than I have already explained. This is the framework that I use. Many times the founder, actually it depends on the founders, but if we talk to the corporate employees who would like to start their own startups, even I see them in Silicon Valley. When I talk to people who work in Google, Apple, Amazon, I see this kind of thinking in those people as well, because they are really well paid. They are in Silicon Valley. They are working at great companies. But at the end, they also feel that urge to start their own companies, but they also feel like maybe they are not worthy of it. They don't feel like they can do that. because it's all about fear of failure, fear of rejection. It all starts, and it's the most powerful feeling in a human being is the fear of everything. So what I would say is finding a way to move against fear. That's how it starts. And once you go beyond that, then actually you realize that, I mean, you ask me, even if in Silicon Valley, I mean, in Silicon Valley, there are tools which make it easier, although it's more competitive.
Okay.
It's the easier tools. I mean, there are a lot of events going on here, and there is always a chance to meet people who you can partner with, who you can learn from. I mean, as I said earlier, I mean, you can always attend those events. You can have an open mind, open heart, and then you can connect with all those people, talk about your idea. And many people have this fear that when they talk about an idea, their idea will get stolen, someone else will do it. So
Yes.
I would suggest completely otherwise. So whatever
Yes.
you have, freely talk to others.
Yeah.
I mean, you know what? I mean, no, there are startups, they get funding $100 million, but still they fail.
Yeah.
So even if you get funded, even if you have the best team, it doesn't mean that you'll be successful. So if someone can make the idea better than you just by listening it from you, then it means that maybe they are better equipped to do that, or that you might be a way, or maybe you are not the best person to execute on that.
I totally agree. And I think the society also plays a part of inflicting fear. When you talk to people, it's like, yeah, they're inflicting fear everywhere you go. They just make you to be afraid for no specific reason.
Doreen, that's what the system's role. The education system, the corporate system, since we are born, it all loads fear on us. Okay. The system is all about fear. That's the engine that keeps system going. Okay. So it's a necessary evil, actually.
It is. But like you said, if we can overcome that fear of failure, that fear of rejection, then we are definitely going to get to our positive outcomes.
That's true. That's true.
Yes, absolutely.
You know what I can say, I mean, related to positive outcomes, I can say that, there's a saying, it's not important what happens to you. It's important you react to what happens.
Oh, yes. Yes. And there's a big difference between responding and reacting.
Yes.
To a situation. And I always find myself asking, Doreen, are you responding or are you reacting? Because if you are reacting, it's emotions that are talking. It's not responding that you are talking. It means you didn't think through your answers. So what we are saying here, just talking back to our audience and our viewers, is that when you're faced with that situation of fear of rejection or of fear of the unknown, because the system is injecting us with fear every single day, always think before you react, respond, and don't react. That is super amazing. I want to come back and ask you, because we are almost rounding up the show, and we can go on forever. As someone who wears many hats, right? Professor, investor, mentor, TV host, how do you balance vision, execution? How do you balance it all?
I mean, to me, when I look at myself, everything I do is connected. Everything is in line and aligned. So, okay, I'm wearing several hats, but my unique ability is, I connect them. These are things which I can connect together, which complements each other. So which helps each other grow. For example, my work at the institute, I work with the corporates and also with the startups, but also when I talk to them on TV, and then it also gives me other resources to connect with other people. So it all grows each other. And to me, it's all connected. So it's all about connecting the dots in that sense. Steve Jobs said, let's connect the dots. We can connect the dots backwards. But I'm asking, what if we connect the dots forwards? If we can imagine about it and if we connect it like that, that's how we create the vision and execute on that vision.
That is amazing. Connecting. So connecting, because I think, there's this word that say, how can I balance it all? I think you can balance it all if you learn to connect them all together. Yes. If you learn to strategically connect them together, you should be able to balance it. And that's one of the nuggets. Again, we have several nuggets I've written down already on my book. So talk to us a little bit about your TV host show. What kind of interviews do you do? Is it radio? Is it television? What is that and how can people find you?
Yeah, it's TV and it's available on YouTube as well. I mean, you can go to my YouTube on youtube.com, Oğuzhan Aygoren, with my name and surname. So you can reach out to that. So my aim is actually I started the TV first with Bloomberg, the 200 episodes there, and then with CNBC. And I like to do it on TV because when I first started more than 10 years ago, I was watching it and they were announcing an entrepreneur, and the person they introduced as entrepreneur was a business mogul, not a startup founder. And there was another mentioning about startups. And I went to TV myself and say, hey, I mean, you are educating people wrong. This is not what entrepreneurship is about. It's all about startups, the new ventures. But actually, they were open and they were humble to say that, okay, yeah, we don't know about it. And so why don't you do something about, why don't you start something? So that's how I started. And I started to invite all the great entrepreneurs, listen to their stories because they are timeless stories. So you can apply those stories, you can learn from them, and you can experience yourself. It's not about the technology news. It's not about what's going on with this NVIDIA stock today. It's not about Tesla. It's about the entrepreneurship struggles that the founder himself or herself went through those journey. This is something that we can learn and share from each other because it is so real. For example, in one episode, the founder said that, I mean, I was so lost in one point because I had talked to 100 investors. Everybody said no. So what should
Oh boy, the founder is telling my story right now. Yes,
it's resonating and it's so applicable. So yes. I believe that people need to hear those stories in order to overcome their fears and in order to feel energized about it. So that's the main topic. That's the main reason why I like to show on stage. And if I don't do it, those entrepreneurs, researchers, innovators, they don't have an avenue to be on the mainstream for other people.
Yes.
Nobody sees them. Nobody knows them if they are not in the same circle.
Amazing. That is definitely true. That is, I totally relate with that one. I have a company called Dr. Doreen's Cleanser Therapy. And I will tell you that I reach out to the 5 first people that I knew that because of our connection, they would be like, yes, I want to be an investor. All of them say, no, I don't want to be an investor. What do? You keep going until you get to a place. That is the journey that a lot of people don't understand what you go through to work for yourself or to be alone. And I think and that's exactly why I started Positive Outcomes, because the fear I had to leave to leave corporate America. I'm like, I'm a vice president. I'm a compliance officer. I make all this money. I have bonuses. I will fail. So the fear actually made me seek just being afraid of starting my own thing. But the biggest transformation in my life happened when I decided to go and do what works for me and my uniqueness, like you said it. So guys, go ahead and just do. Start somewhere, attend the conference, read the book, go to his website. His name is on the screen. Go to his YouTube and listen to the shows and just learn so that you can grow. So as we are wrapping up, what next? What does the future look like for you? You've already done a lot of stuff. What does the future looks like for you?
Yeah, in the future, actually, I have a lot of new exciting projects that I'm working right now. So one of them is actually building a fund to invest in startups. So that I already work with some firms, but I now work on building my own funds, especially in Berkeley for the researchers and great innovators doing new stuff here, the cutting edge stuff. So that's exciting for me. And again, while doing that, I mean, I'm working to collaborate with all the corporates and the VCs that I've been working. Still, I mean, while doing that, I'm connecting them. So that's something. Another thing I'm working on right now is actually, I told you about this framework, this exploration.
Expiration, and expression. I have that.
Perfect. So now actually, we are currently working on that in our Institute for Business Innovation to make it accessible for the world as a template to use it. So as a research, working on that currently and building a course around it to teach to MBA students here in Berkeley. So that's something else. And so when I look at the future, so this is the near future, but when I look at the long-term future, I mean, I'll refer to your name, the positive outcomes. So I would like to create the positive outcomes as a larger impact to the society. So there is, and in the capitalist world, we all talk about this, okay, maximizing shareholder value, making profits, especially in America. I mean, I come from Turkey. It's not the case in Turkey. I mean, when you go to that part of the world, I mean, you feel like more human connection, but here, more
Yes.
capitalism. So I think there needs to be a balance around that. There needs to be a
Yes.
balance between capitalistic thinking and this human connection. So it needs to merge. Some companies are doing that. I mean, there are really great companies bringing this discussion like conscious capitalism, societal marketing, or social entrepreneurship. So these kind of concepts actually exist in the world. But I would like to create a broader impact doing this from an academic perspective. I like to, so now currently academia is just a window in a person's life, just like you go to college for 4 years or masters for 2 years, and then you learn and then you go back to work. So what is left with you? But I'm actually, I'm thinking about changing that or bringing an alternative to that system in the longer road. I believe learning should not be confined to just a college degree. So it's just like it should be something that you take with you throughout your life. Like we call it, lifelong education. There are centers around that, but still, I mean, it's not something people are used to. I want it to be part of life. I mean, what if, let's say, what if there is no diploma? What if there is no certificate? And what if people go to college throughout their life whenever they want? They can take a university class and they can employ their business experience and combine it with academia. They learn from it because, I mean, because whatever you learn today is relevant for the past, but it's not relevant for the future. In order to keep learning, you need to have a mechanism, you need to have a system to keep learning. And school is a great place for that. I think we need to find a way to make it accessible and longer term. So I'm also, this is also something that I'm thinking a lot and trying to figure out how it might work. So this is something in progress for the future.
Your mind is an innovative mind. You are constantly thinking, well, out of the box, like how to make things better for mankind, for the universe, for the world. And that is rare to find because you're right. What if we can just go anytime we want and take classes? Why are we putting a bottleneck or a block after you have a first degree? Why are we capping it when there's so much you can go back and learn? And that takes only your kind of mind to think like that, right? And it is really, really, really interesting to think like that. And you know what? I definitely want to pull along. Anyway, we are way past our time. The conversation was so interesting. Like again, people will find you. His name is on the screen. You can go to you have a LinkedIn profile. He has a YouTube channel. What do you offer for the masses? And again, any other way they can get a hold of you?
Yeah, I mean, they can follow me on social media. I'm happy to connect. So you can reach out to me from all those. I have a website though. I mean, I need to renew the website. My name, surname, Oğuzhan Aygoren, .com. So I'm working on that as well. I mean, if what I tell resonates with you, if you would like to be part of the journey, or if you are corporate, I mean, listening to us and would like to work towards that vision. So I'm happy to collaborate.
Amazing. And the next time you see me, I'll actually be on his TV show talking to him about his story. So I've invited myself. So one life lesson, the last thing we always ask everyone. I know you have so many, but what is that one unique one that you want to leave with us?
Wow. Okay. Then it will be something around what you would like to achieve in life. So again, I will give you a framework about this. Okay. So, I mean, I'm an academic, so I have these frameworks in my mind. So, I mean, a lesson, to me is just like an applicable thing to you. So when you would like to achieve something, many people start with, in their mind, they start with no. So they so they just don't start. Okay. So they have this fear, but they have this response in their head saying no. So against that no response, I suggest to start with the intention that you are going to achieve that. So it first starts with intention. And second, it continues with the commitment to your intention. And third, you cannot control the result. You cannot control the outcome. So third is acceptance. So whatever it brings to you. So intention, commitment, acceptance. So whatever it is. So then it's also actually in line with what I said earlier about peaceful discomfort. So having your inner peace is about acceptance. So whatever happens, you accept the outcome. And when you accept it, it's always positive.
Yes. When you accept it, when you accept the outcome, do not be attached to the results.
Yes.
Everything, what you're saying is that do everything you can do. You're not attached to the outcome. You're not attached to the results. Just accept that you've done your part and the result is a result that has to be.
Yes.
That is peace. I love it. I love that. All right. No, guys, we are really happy to have you. Share. And as he's going along the process, hopefully he will come back again and give us some nuggets where he is. And he's always welcome to come to the podcast. Oguzhan, thank you so much for coming to Positive Outcome. We really enjoy our time. And thank you all the viewers for viewing. Go ahead and share to corporate leaders so they can all tap into this blessing. Thank you all so much. Goodbye.
Thanks for listening to Positive Outcomes. Follow the show and share this episode to inspire someone's next chapter.